Welcome to Disney's Pop Century Resort. Pop Century is a value resort at Walt Disney World. When you drive up to the resort, you will often find games going outside for kids. Hula hoops and blocks are common. Also right outside the door is the airline check-in desk and bell services. If you look to your left, you'll find the queues for the Disney park buses. Each queue is clearly labeled where it's going. This is where you line up when you go to the parks. The main building is called Classic Hall. Let's check it out. When you first walk in, you'll be in a bright lobby. To your right is a kids area just off the check-in desk. This makes it easy for mom and dad to check in while the kids are entertained. Also along this wall are these shadow boxes full of memorabilia from throughout the decades. It's really fun to look into these and remember what you had as a kid. And every day they do the hustle right there in the lobby. To your left is the check-in desk. And if you keep walking throughout the entire lobby, at the very end is Everything Pop. To the one side is the Fast Forward Arcade. Let's go inside. In Disney arcades, you use these points cards instead of cash. Pop Century's arcade is really big, and there are games for every age. Heading back out into the lobby, let's go into Everything Pop. Everything Pop is the food court and the gift shop. The gift shop is really big. It has lots of different things. T-shirts, stuffed animals, toys, candy, food. Also, if you're shopping inside the parks, you can send your package back here instead of schlepping it around with you all day long. Just past the gift shop is the food court. In my opinion, Pop Century has one of the best food courts. There is a lot of seating. And there's a lot of choices to eat. There are food stations and a grab-and-go area within the food court. Here's a food station. It has 5 to 6 different choices. And you just line up and get whatever you want and put it on a tray. This is the grab-and-go area: desserts, drinks, fruit, vegetables. And after you pay, there's a center island with all of the drinks: coffee, soda, iced tea, water, lemonade. Back out into the lobby, we can look one way and we see the doors to the bus transportation. And the other side was the arcade and the rest of the resort. So let's go check out the rest of the resort. Directly outside these doors is the Hippy Dippy Pool. This is the 60s area. The Hippy Dippy Pool is the main feature pool of Pop Century. You'll have pool games going on here. You have the pool bar, which is called Petals. There's tables surrounding it. There's tons of seating, even though this was a hot August afternoon. When I was doing these tours, there was pool games going on, tons of seats, lots of people in the pool, but still plenty of space. As you can see, the 60s buildings have giant yo-yos decorating them, and the shadow people are dancing, doing the twist. It's a very fun courtyard. It's a very busy courtyard. On the far side of the pool, this is the children's splash area, the little kiddie pool. And our buildings have giant icons of Play-Doh and the Jungle Book. And as I mentioned before, the buildings have different 60s icons on them. The big flowers, the peace signs, the shadow people dancing, words from the 60s. We walk back up to Classic Hall and turn. We're going to enter into the 50s section. Entering into the 50s courtyard, our outside hallway stairwells are decorated as giant bowling pins. Our shadow people are doing a sock hop. We've got little transistor radios and records, and our giant icons in the courtyard are Lady and Tramp. This is a utility building they disguised as their doghouse, which I thought was adorable. The courtyard here is another pool, our second pool. It's the 50s pool, and it's shaped like a giant bowling pin. This is the laundry facilities and bathroom, appropriately themed. And the far end has a third building, which has this giant jukebox outside it with a lot of really silly songs. It's fun to just read the song names if you stay in this section. Taking a look at the bowling pin pool and the whole courtyard. Now, if you take the back path, this is Hourglass Lake, and it goes behind the 50s building and stretches right past the 60s buildings. It's actually really nice and quiet back here. You can see there's a lot of outside hallways for the 60s, the yo-yos. And this is passing the Generation Gap Bridge, which now leads to Disney's Art of Animation Resort. And there is some lovely sitting areas here, and it goes right back into the main resort, past Goofy, and into the 70s. This is our outside stairwell, decorated as an 8-track. And going into the 70s courtyard, you'll find this Twister game. And yes, you can really play it. A disco floor, and one of the best courtyards, a giant foosball game. Our icons are this big wheel and a Mickey phone. The buildings are decorated with mood rings, platform shoes, words from the 70s, and our shadow people are doing the disco. I really like this courtyard. I think it provides some really cool picture opportunities. You can put your kids in the middle of the game, and they're just so small compared to these giant foosball characters. Past the 70s courtyard, we have this Mr. and Mr. Potato Head. My son loved these. We have to get a picture every time we go. This is the 80s and 90s area. These trees are made to look like a microchip with the prongs sticking out. And our stairwells are Rubik's Cubes in the 80s. And the buildings are Pac-Man and people doing breakdancing. The icons are Walkman, remember those? And Roger Rabbit. The 80s and 90s section holds our third pool, the computer pool. And this pool is just simple and square, but I really like the details around it. We're a nerdy family. We really got a kick out of the giant keyboard and all the little details of this area. It's also a lot quieter than the other pools. Around the pool, you'll find this giant stack of floppy disks. And the bathroom and laundry area is disguised as a CPU. We love the power cord sticking out of it. It's just too funny. All the pool areas also have life jackets around them, so you don't need to bring your own. Very handy. I'm just taking a look back through the courtyard. And towards the end of the courtyard, we have one 90s building, and its giant icon is this laptop computer. The building's decorated with CD-ROMs and rollerblades, and dancing shadow people wearing extra baggy clothing. Our stairwell is disguised as a cell phone. And this area is really quiet. Even though the resort was packed, this parking lot was empty. So it's a great spot to stay if you want quiet. Let's go take a look at one of the rooms. Each of the buildings have an elevator. This is kind of peeking around the Walkman into the computer pool. Outside hallways at all the value resorts. And this is where my family stayed. Each room has an icon, each room number, depending on where you're staying. It's appropriately themed. And this is a standard room with 2 double beds. The rooms are not huge, but they're adequate. You can see there's not a whole lot of space between the door and the first bed, but it is fine. Table and chairs. This is the storage unit. There's several shelves for your clothing or toiletries and things. 3 drawers. They're fairly deep. We're a family of 3, didn't have much problem at all finding storage. This spot is great for a pack and play or your suitcase. It's right next to the drawers and shelves. Handy hooks for your park bag or coats. There's a privacy curtain over the vanity area, which is good if someone likes to get up early in the morning. This is the vanity area with the small closet, some hangers and things. This is your safe, easily fits a laptop and then some. Your vanity, just one sink. In the separate area, there's a door that closes to the toilet and bath area. Disney toiletries are great, H2O products. The shower and bath combo. And the wallpaper has hidden Mickeys in it. On the back side of the door, you'll find 3 hooks, great for towels or clothes. On the wall is a simple picture, and it's appropriately themed to what section you're staying in. We were in the 80s. Between the bed, this is the vanity, or the night table. The simple alarm clock. Other resorts may have an iHome. Pop Century does not. And here's a few details throughout the room. I like the carpet. It had little Mickey heads in it. And the bedspread's really fun. All the Valley resorts do have some limited food delivery service. Each building has a vending machine area and an ice machine, and there is an ice bucket in your room. Let's take a look at the 3 laundry areas. They are right around the pools. They're good sized. Additional vending. It's $2 to wash, and there are front loaders and there are top loaders. And it's $2 to dry. The dryers are not great. The soap for sale. And there's a change machine. A few details around the resort. Here's what the directional signs look like. And you'll find these signs all throughout the resort, one for every year between 1950 and 1999. Little fun tidbits. Pop Century is a busy resort, but there are some nice, quiet paths. I really enjoyed walking around the lake. It's really beautiful. There's lots of flowers. The trees are budding. There's some really nice, quiet spots that you can find, and it really is very beautiful. This is the main classic hall facing the Hippy Dippy pool. Thanks so much for watching.